sit here and we take it in, this beautiful place on planet Earth. Before we do anything, we acknowledge the original people on this land, the Nipmuc. We honor them because they lived here well over 8,000, 12,000 years, but they have stewarded this land. And they are here to continue to teach us and to steward this land. I want to acknowledge that the late David Palacin White's parents have joined us. Ken and Ann White have joined us to acknowledge, because it was David who actually came on this land.
Our Earth Mother was telling them back then, and our ancestors were saying, you have to stop raping our Mother Earth. She's crying out to you. You have to stop now. But now it's getting to be too late. The things that the Creator gave us to survive is now taking life away. Wildfires, the extreme heat, our lakes and our waterfalls and our streams are polluted. We used to be able to drink water out of our brooks, streams, eat the fish. No more. So I commend your community in protecting this Mother Earth. With your hearts and souls. I remember I was reading this newspaper one day and I saw this man, Larry Buell, was going to have a tour of the stone structures in the Petersham area. And so I gave him a call and I asked him for directions and he told me. So Ann and I were preparing to leave and I called my son and I said, David, do you want to go take a look at these stone structures in Petersham? And he was hemming and hawing, and he said, I don't need no white man to show me where my stone structure is. Larry? I said, David, come on. So Ann and I left, and sure enough, he showed up late in his own little pickup. And we came a long way from then. You guys worked with David, and he was so proud of Earthlands. And, he spent a lot of time up here. I was only up here a couple of times, and we were talking circles. And it's true, when you come to this area, you can feel the spirit that you people kept alive. Deep in my heart, I appreciate that you're protecting the land of my ancestors, the land that we stand on now. You have a beautiful community here, and I hope you keep up your good work. I thank you for your hospitality, and you all touched my heart. You touched the heart of my beautiful wife, Ann. And, thank you so much for the invite, Larry. And I don't want to seem disrespectful, but I told you we couldn't stay very long. And I think you're going to get into a pretty long discussion. So we will be leaving soon. I don't want to be disrespectful at all. I love you all. My heart goes out to you all. Ako na inuwachi mami. Peace for all.
Larry, can you pick it up and move the whole stand forward?
Beautiful. Well, thank you, Ken, and thank you for all the others who have spoken. So yes, we all have a little bit of a story here. Mine is quite long, and we're not going to go into that. But there are a couple of things that must be shared. First of all, acknowledgement is that right down here is my grandson, Nicholas. Nicholas, just stand up. The joy of my life was to have about 10 days with Nicholas. He stayed in a little tiny home, and he went everywhere. Grandpa, where are we going now? And one highlight, I said, we have a boulder, that if you can boulder it, I'll give you $100. That got his attention. I was able to walk up and down the valley. Where's the boulder? Where's the boulder? I had a $100 bill, and I gave it to him, and he did the boulder. But it was a beautiful thing. And Nicholas, and he got out and helped, and it's beautiful. And other folks here, I could go down through that list, but Katya, thank you, Katya. As always, we bring people to us. Katya did that. And also, I want to honor my family. I want to honor all the others who have brought so much. And there's two small stories. Is that in 60 years, next March 21st, it will have been 60 years since I received this vision. And it's a beautiful vision, and it will be told further and further. So that's there. And then coming here to this community, there was a lot. There's everybody, we have about over 100 people have I Ching coins, because I had a vision that plant the I Ching in the north side of the medicine circle, and they will come. And within a year, we had 17 people living on that land. So that's the vision that we have. And also, in one of the Earth Story breath works, I received a vision, and I think heart was one of the focus of that. And that vision was me climbing a mountain, but I had to go through certain challenges, mainly people, to get to the top of the mountain. But it wasn't about the people, it was about myself. And I learned that once you get to the top of the mountain, then you start to climb. And that's what my life has been right now. So it's so beautiful, and I'm always about looking to the future, and we have a very unique future right here. I have been trying for 35 years to get college credit for the work we do at the Earthlands and the University of Wild. So we have a unique situation right here. There was a visionary that came onto this land in 1970s, early 1970s, and he left here, went to Hampshire College, and became a philanthropist and became a visionary. It's Artemis Jakowski, and Artemis has joined us. But the interesting thing, Artemis has founded a thing called Learning to Learn University. He wants to have it around the world. We have to pull him back. We're on a board with him. He wants to have 100,000 students in there by March. But Artemis, this is real. So I now, through the University of Wild, we can offer credit. So right today, we have the visionary of Learning to Learn University under the University Without Walls at Amherst College, at UMass College. We have the mentor, Brother Nostar, went as a graduate of the University Without Walls. He's a mentor. I'm one of the visionaries that caught him together here. But in this tent, we have two of the first students that will get credit at the University of Wild at UMass. And would Eves and Alex please come up here? This is the future, folks. These young men and young women who are coming into here, this is what we're talking about. We're passing it on. And I was apologizing because at Earthlands you have 30 beds, right? This design is for about 15 people to come here. So to bring 75 people is a little bit of a challenge. But I want to acknowledge Alex, who's living with our beautiful brother Keith Snow up on Greens Island. And this is the beginning of the next adventure. So thank you, Alex.
Welcome.
And so the other thing, we talk about handouts. I'm going to do handouts. Now, you may laugh. Roll your eyes all you want. Every handout I've ever done is going to end up in the W.E. Du Bois Library of UMass.
It's not possible.
Oh, come on!
We're going to build a new wing, the Larry Buell wing.
Okay, well, but I have 100 of these in this box. This is a 15 pages condensed history of Earthlands. It has the timeline, it has some quotes from people, so everybody is going to walk away with their packet. So with that said, there are other people who we want to hear their voice here because this is a very, very special time. Logistically, we have a composting toilet out there, we have one down there, and we have this beautiful woods. And I'm also, as we acknowledge, there's a woman who's sitting with a roll of duct tape and paperclip in her pocket, and it's Gail Burrington right over there. Gail Burrington. She can't only put up your solar collector, she's also a philanthropist that has given so much to this place, so we honor that. So, it is here, and the fire will go late into the night. Frank Gingrod, who was a student of the Outdoor Leadership Program, can start the fire with his bow drill, and Anthony Brogno, one of the first students, the first staff, is here. Anthony, are you here now?
Right here, lady.
Anthony, there he is. This is who's coming. And thank you for honoring this. So let's hear some other stories.
Amy.
Amy.
Aloha kako, everyone. My name is Kaimi, and I'm originally from Hawaii. But I came to Earthlands when I was in my early 20s. I had just graduated from college, and I was trying to figure out what to do. And lo and behold, I get this environmental opportunities newsletter. I kept this from 31 years ago, just to kind of give you a sense of what, or give kind of as a memorabilia for me, but just how much one person's vision can change your life. So I'm just going to read to you from it. The date on this is April 17, 1992. And it says, Environmental Leadership Program, Greenfield Community College, Greenfield, Massachusetts. The year-long Environmental Leadership Training Certificate Program at the college offers a small group of highly motivated entry-level environmental educators the skills, abilities, and experience required for gainful employment in the environmental field. The experiential-based program offers core skills, training, residential community living, international work-study travel in the former USSR, and independent self-directed study. For info, contact Dr. Larry Buell. And then down here I wrote, sent for info, April 23rd, 1992. I arrived here in September, drove up the road to the lodge. It was a very cool September foggy evening, and I had no idea where I was. And I pulled up, and I saw this little light in a window. I thought, gosh, I hope these people are kind, because I have no clue where I am. And I went up to the door, and everybody opened the door and welcomed me with a big hug, and the rest is history. So just a short sharing of how much one person's vision can make it around the world. And I just want to give Larry a big hug, because I really appreciate him.
And how important those flyers are. Andrew, you're next. And then after that, we're going to have
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
I didn't know I was going to talk, so, but the reason I'm here, because I think about Earthlands and the time that I lived here several times a day. Like, I go out and look at the stars at home, and I'm just flashback to here every time. So, it's like the baseline for comparing my whole life. And I noticed, the first thing I noticed when I stepped onto the trail, I didn't know where it's going, I don't even know where I am. But the spongy ground, and it's like there's no other place that I'd walk on that has that spongy ground. And I live in Vermont, I'm walking on the Appalachian Trail all the time. It's hard, so it's very special. That's all I could come up with.
Diane.
Wow. Yes, I did not know I was doing this. The time I spent here was the absolutely most significant time of my life. I didn't know it then. And there's so many stories interrelated with everyone that it's too much to say in a few minutes. But, you know, oh gosh, Davis and I supporting Bill, you know, smuggling computers into the Soviet Union so that the environmentalists could organize. And then like a year later, we're here in the woods of Petersham and turning our life around again. And Cindy told the story of coming up from the NOFA conference with Leslie, and she comes up through the meadow to where the house was, and she finds us all dressed in white dresses and pants playing croquet in the sheep pen. Because it was the only place where the grass was short enough for the balls to get through the wickets. Okay? Yeah. And we were celebrating August birthdays. There was a number of us, Shane and myself, and Cindy came with a friend named Leslie. And she's a birthday twin with me, and she still talks about that day, that how it blew her mind that there was this group of people that were living joyously and dedicated to creating something new. And we've gone in lots and lots of different directions. It's amazing. I want to talk to everybody and catch up. And you know, I could care less about my college or high school reunion. this is what made the difference in my life, and that's why I'm here. And I just love you all.
Yeah, so there was this crew from New York that came here. Did I call you? Who did I call first? I think it was you or Davis or Ivan, maybe. I don't know,
Ivan, we
Diane.
miss you. Ivan, I think, yes.
Yeah, I think I called Ivan, and then they all arrived. And this was the next year when we became our culture, that we were playing croquet in the sheep pen. So Davis.
So, try to connect the dots here. So, I met this man with John Seed at a Deep Ecology Council of All Beings. He was running this little thing sponsored by Sacred Earth Network. It was just a little tiny thing. And when I lived in New York, I moved to New York at that point, I helped him with computer stuff because I'd bike by his house on the way home to where I lived in Brooklyn. And then I left the city for a job, and when that job ended and I got laid off, I talked to Bill, and Bill's like, I think I want to take Sacred Earth Network and do something with it and actually turn it into an organization that is not just volunteer. And I said, okay, I'll come down and help you in New York, but only if we move in a year. Because I'm only doing one more year in New York. And so I did. I moved to New York. I lived on my unemployment. We created and got our first 2 grant awards. And we got a call from this one saying, you got to check out this place. So one of our road trips, we're doing slideshow road trips. We went up to New Hampshire, John McGovern, another name from the past. Did slideshow up there, and then we arranged it so that we would come through here and have dinner at the lodge, do a slideshow, which is kind of fun to do in an off-the-grid house, and then go back to New York and see if this might be something we want to check out. And so we did this on a cold, clear January night. We drive down from New Hampshire. We can't get into the lodge. We have to hike in over the snow there. This is Bill, who's never been out of Brooklyn before. And we did it. We had a great time. We had this great slideshow. And then I think the point that kind of really has stayed with me since then was when we were leaving at like 11 o'clock at night, having to drive back to New York. We're walking out of the lodge, and it's absolutely clear, crystal clear. There's about a foot of snow on the ground. It is so quiet. And we made it to the sheep pasture, to where the road started. And Bill turned to me and he said, Davis. I said, what? He says, Davis, it's so quiet, I can hear the space between my thoughts. And I think that really captured the moment. And yes, we did lure you out of Brooklyn, and you never went back. And in all that, the land and what Larry was holding here became that seed. What I love about it, it wasn't like following a guru. It was like, here we are on this land. We're each having our experiences, but the place shaped our experiences, and that I'm forever grateful for. Yeah.
Thank you.